Hi guys, it's Sarah from I Swear I'm Stitching. This is floss tube number 68 and today is September 9th. Start getting my notes together. This is the floss tube where I talk about cross stitch. Excuse me, but I also knit and quilt, so that's also sprinkled in. There is no quilting. I'm actually have you propped up on my sewing machine because I had to move it from my normal place to my big table for reasons. But there's a little bit of knitting. So, if this is your first time stopping by, thank you. It's nice to meet you. I hope you stick around. If you're coming back, hey, I don't know what that was. Hi, thanks for coming back. Oh my god. So let's jump right into it. I have quit my job recently, which if you're not new here, you know. So I've been reorganizing my life basically. And that includes purging stash, organizing stash, making lots of plans. I'm already starting to make plans for next year's stitching. Oh my gosh, what's wrong with me? But I'll talk about that another day because I feel like I have a lot. We'll see if I have a lot for today. So we will start with FFOs. I have an FFO because these are always the, I should get my box of things that need to be FFO'd. So you guys can see my disgrace. Maybe next time. But it's a mill hill, and mill hills are always the easiest thing to FFO right away because they're so small. So this is, oh, what is his name? I don't have the pattern. It's a snowman. Mitten snowman? Mitten charmer? I don't know. I got him from stuff from Total Stitch Show. I finished him. This is my bad sewing because it was my first time sewing pieces on a mill hill. But I made it into a magnet because my front door is metal and I have a lot of ornaments, so I'm gonna probably make a few of my mill hills into magnets from now on. But anyways, here he is. Look how cute he is. I had to sew on, it's the first time, like I said, attaching different pieces. So you sew the hat and the mittens separately, or sorry, stitch them, and then you attach them. I had to sew the hat on and then the mittens. I thought about tacking that mitten down like on the pattern picture, but I like that they're just free dangling. Look how cute he is. Oh, I love him so much. I love snowmen. I hate stitching white though. This was like, oh my gosh, mindless and easy for like show watching, but man, gotta hate white. Isn't he cute? So that's my only FFO. And then no FOs, but I have some whips. If you've been around, you know I've been kind of obsessed with 3 current whips. My Halloween Hawk Run Hollow, my Star Spangled Shawl, and Monster Wonder Whale. Okay, so I'll start with, there we go. I'll start with this one. This is from the Punch Needle Primitive Stitcher 2022 summer issue. It is this punch needle pattern by Michelle L. Palmer. I loved it so much, but I had absolutely no desire to take up another hobby, even though punch needle does look satisfying. Just stab, 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 right? But anyways. So I was lamenting on how I wished it was cross stitch, and my friend Kaylee from Kaylee 10 Stitch was like, I can make that in a cross stitch pattern. And I was like, what? So I asked Michelle Palmer and she said, yeah, do it, go for it. Make it in a knitting pattern, cross stitch pattern and stitch it. So Kaylee turned it into a cross stitch pattern for me and I've started stitching. This is just, since it's basically full coverage, I just used a piece of crappy 32 count linen from Fangirl Fibers. And I didn't bring the thing to hold behind stuff. Oh, well, hopefully not too see-through. But there it is. If you can tell, I had to frog all of this, which really put a damper on my obsession with this one. So I worked more on my other 2 projects this week. I tried to spin a wheel every day to see which one of the three I'm going to do because I was obsessed with all three of them. But then this one I became less obsessed with after all that frogging and just worked more on the other ones. But I love that red. So I got to fill this little like very light mocha, but it's almost white. I have to fill all that in there. And I'm doing all around because the whale's head starts here. I'm trying to do all around the whale's head. I wanted to save the whale for last because I think it'll be the most fun because he's so awesome. But also he's freaking big and that might be a bad idea. So I might just finish this section, his head and all, before I move the Q-snap. Unless I decide I'm no longer obsessed with this one and I want to put it down because like I said, having to frog all that really kind of killed my mojo. And you know what it's like when you lose your mojo for a project. You just don't want to look at it. And then the other project I worked on was my Halloween at Hawk Run Hollow. Everyone knows what it looks like, but I'll bring up a picture anyways. All I have is my working copy in the bag. I forgot how to use an iPad. Good Lord. It's covered in dog fur. It was on the couch. There we go. So everyone knows what it looks like. Halloween at Hawk Run Hollow. And typically I name the things I'm working on, but I just wasn't in the mood. Like nothing floated my boat this past couple weeks. So I'll show you what it looks like. I took it out of the Q-snap. It's by Carachass Samplings. It's on 18 count Aida into dye for fabrics in ash and tan. 1/1. Oh, that Will's 2/2. So that's what I've got so far. So like my witches are Carlita and Maeve, and the cat is Grudge. The skulls are Bill and Ted, the mermaid's Una. And then on the block I'm actively working on, the ghosts, there's 3 of them. I haven't named them yet. Probably because I was disappointed that, let me fold it. I was working on ecru and you can't see the ecru. I'm not really worried about it once I get, okay. Worked out, my arms are tired. So let's see, I'm working on that block. It's so pixelated. So I'm not really worried about them not showing up because once the tunnel's filled in and there's that outline on the ghost, they'll pop out more. But right now, I was working on some of the bottom and then I worked on some of the bottom parts of the ghost, and that's an ecru and it doesn't really show. And I was like, because it didn't really show, I didn't get connected to the ghost, so I didn't name them. I know, I'm stupid. Let's see, you can barely even see it in the picture. There's ecru right there, but like I said, it'll be surrounded by train, tunnel, and then the ghosts have it outlined, so I'm sure it'll pop. I'm sure it'll be fine. The ghosts are in more of a white, that'll probably pop more too. But yeah, there it is. I love the moon and the little owl. Still addicted to this one, still loving every stitch, except for that ecru. Still loving every stitch. So when I get this back on the Q-snap, I'll work more on that. You know, since it's off the Q-snap, I should go back and finish that mermaid, oh my gosh, block, because I had to stop because I ran out of that blue. So I moved on, but now I have the blue I can finish filling in the middle section of the water. I might do that. I might fill that in before I move on to the current block I'm working on. I like that idea. Good idea, Sarah. Thank you. And then the third project I worked on was my Monster Wonder Whale from Owl Forest Embroidery. Oh, I love it so much. This is work 2/2 using the 32 count fabric that came in the kit with their overdyed thread, which I also love. I'm so excited because I finished this half. I can put that half of the pattern away. Ugh, my nails, I painted them and they're all I'm not a clean nail painter. I just slather it on, let it dry, and then hope throughout the day it comes off like doing dishes and shit. Anyways, I did, so I have half my whale done, more than half, but I no longer have to go on that side of the whale. And if you get this kit, they give you the minimum amount of fabric you need. So I had to, in order to get my Q-snap to use my Q-snap so I could get the far ends done, I had to sew on some fabric. As you can tell, this is backwards because who cares? I'm just use it so I can put it on my Q-snap easier. I will take it off when I'm done. I haven't needed it for the bottom or the top, and I don't think I will. I've been good so far. But anyways, here's my Monster Wonder Whale so far. Look how pretty it is. I love those trees on top of his tail and that big green plant on top of his back. And I think this motif might be my favorite, with the oranges and the green. So pretty. I love it so much. I can't wait to finish it so I can start my dinosaur Alforce embroidery. I'm loving their threads. Loving the threads. I am concerned I'll run out of the dark gray though. So fingers crossed I won't. I've been trying to be really precise, so I haven't really had to frog much. Just like once, I was able to reuse the thread, I think. That was a while ago. And I've been stitching down to the last tiny ½ inch of thread where I can barely even get my needle back in and up to cross the cross. Oh, I love it so much. Can't wait to get that one back on the Q-snap too. And I think I will keep moving along. Like I had considered moving the Q-snap here and starting on his head, but I think I'll just keep moving this way and work on that plant, right? Yeah, that orange plant next to the green plant. So I think I'll just keep going this way. Just keep moving the Q-snap that way. And then I do have one small knitting whip. Well, actually I have two. I cast on my sister's other socks, but I'm not gonna show them. No, I already showed them, I believe, just the feet. But I've done like 1 or 2 rows on that. But I'm stitching her the spring filling toe up version of this pattern by Wendy D. Johnson. Can you see it all? This pattern's from Spring Fling, the Loopy You did back in like 2008. And I'm finally stitching it. I think it might be my first retreat or my second retreat. So there it is. I'm stitching these for my sister in purple, very dark purple, which I found out is not a good travel project because it is so dark, and because I have not used to working on lace patterns that need to be looked at. So I have the pattern set up on a magnet board, like old school, like I used to do, and then I need good light because it's dark. So that's part of the reason why I cast on those other socks, because they're going to be my travel socks. So I always have travel knitting in my bag because I can't cross stitch out in public. It's too much. Knitting is easier for me. But here's her socks so far. The other sock is just the toe because, as I say every time, sorry if you're sick of hearing it, I knit 2 at a time, where I do a toe, foot, heel, leg, cuff. That way my socks are done really close together and I don't get the dreaded second sock syndrome. So there's that. Dream in Color Smooshy and I believe Purple Rain. And those are all my whips, my friends. That's it. I feel like I did a lot. Lori socks. Oh, and then I spun my little tiny decision wheel for today's small September start, and I worked on it for a hot second this morning. And the Lovely Mermaid from Stitchy Princess Black came up. Now, despite having 10,000 colors of DMC, I did not have her hair and tail colors or her skin color. So I just pulled some pretty fancy flosses. And I just thought the picture lighting was bad, but her skin's actually green. It's actually like a yellow green. And I decided I didn't want her to have yellow green skin. And the color of the skin was also the color of the octopuses that you can't see in the corners, because they're covered up by crap. It was a weird picture decision, but whatever. She's so cute. So what I've done is, for her hair, I'm going to do, for the underside, I'm going to do Classic Colorworks Bejeweled. I don't know why I'm bothering to try and focus floss. And then on the top, I'm doing Forbidden Fiber Co. River of Life. I know it's in the picture, her hair, underside of her hair is a lot darker. Covered it right up than the top side, but I'm okay with this because this is also going to be her tail color. And I like the idea of that for her tail. I might, when I'm doing the hair, I might try to cut out the darker sections. And this is also getting washed out. It's pretty darker in person. But oh, they're so pretty. And then for her skin, I didn't want green. Well, I went through my Everdye stash and I got some light greens, yellowy greens, and then some like really light blues. And I whittled it down to Be Stitch Me Silk and Sea Green. So hair, tail, skin. I hope it works. I hope it works out okay. So I got to start on that this morning, like I said. The rest is just DMC called for. And this is 32 count opalescent white Lugana, 2/2. And I just started on one corner. I've been calling them octopuses. They're squids. Sorry. That you can't, again, you can't see in the picture, but there's a little squid in the corner. So that color, squid color, is also the color of her skin that I've chosen. So I hope that that works. I hope I'm happy with it. I'm super excited. I'll spend all day today working on this because that's how I roll. And then throughout the week, I'll switch between my projects. But my first day of the small, it's all about that small baby. Plus, I've done my chores, I worked out, went to the post office. I got dinner to make. Yeah, that's it. You can see how sparkly it is. I'm really excited to have this mermaid on some sparkly fabric. It's a really, like, as I was stitching it, it's a tight 32. I probably could have gone, there's the 2/2. Probably could have gone with 1. But I'm gonna stick with it. So I'm super excited about that. So my other 3 smalls I have left for the month are the Quirky Quaker Pig from Darling Whimsy Designs, the Fragments of Time Whale Tail, and Fragments of Time Whale Tail. There's another one. I know there's another one. I wrote it down. Oh, the wave. Yeah, that pretty wave. So we will see what's next Friday. Oh, all right. Okay, you guys. I don't know what this is from. Something just fell out of my bag. Okay, interesting. So that's for this week is the mermaid. I'm trying to think of anything else. The giveaway. So last week, because I'm doing smalls in September, and it's my birthday month, so I'm going to celebrate the smalls and give out little smalls every Friday when I pull a new small. Last week was this bead minder. So you take the sticky off, you can put beads on it. It's got a magnet you can put on your project. And this Hanka silk. Oh, that's so pretty. And I did the Comet Jet thingy earlier. My hair's, I tried to flatten it today. I don't know what to do with this. Anyways, I lose so much hair. The winner is Kelly Smithhurst. I don't know if you can even read that writing, Kelly, but congratulations and thank you for commenting. And thanks for stopping by, and I hope you come back. And oh, that reminds me, I have implemented, created, done what a lot of other people do, and have made a Happy Mail form. So down below in the box where all my description crap is, there's now a Happy Mail form link. So click on that and you can leave me your address at any time. And oh, I put equal in that, but apparently I did not stir it, so it's got to be hit equal. Oh, okay. Okay, I just got to stir that up a little bit. Sorry. I'm not gonna spam you. I don't think I'm gonna send random mail, but it'll make it a lot easier when someone wins something. I won't have to pester you for your address. So Kelly, if you want to go down there and fill that out and leave me your address, that'd be great. I'd appreciate it. Thank you. Anyone else, that'd be great. I appreciate it. Thank you. And then this week's giveaway. So say the word silk. Be 18, please, because I cannot afford to be a creeper in my life getting addresses of underage individuals. Don't do it. Be anywhere. I don't care. These are small. They can't cost that much to mail everywhere. I don't care. Don't say giveaway. Don't say free. Yada yada. I've noticed a lot more people saying this recently, so I figure maybe I should tack it on too. This is just out of the kindness of my heart. I don't know why air quoted kindness, but if it gets lost in the mail, it gets lost in the mail. I'm sorry. I really want you to get what you win, but if it's lost in the mail, I can't replace it. So anyways, say silk. Up for grabs is this hank of Bestitch Me Silk in Reef. As you can tell, I don't actually work with silk a lot. It's not my favorite, even though it's beautiful and I love it. This is so pretty. Because I have a tactile thing with silk, and if I use it too much, it creeps me out. Just like cotton balls. My husband will taunt me, and he is so mean to me with cotton balls. You know what he did the other day, actually? What did he give me? He handed me something, and underneath it was a cotton ball. So when I grabbed it, I threw it. I immediately threw it on the floor, and I was like, ah! I hate the feel of cotton balls. Cruel man. Anyways, so, but like I can touch it. I'm not too bad. If I work with it too much, it freaks me out. So there's Reef, and this little I got it in a box. I can't remember which box, but it's super cute. I kept it because I loved it, but I never use it because I just don't use these. They are corner gauges. And I thought I could use it as decoration because it doesn't scream quarter gauge. Like the numbers aren't super big. It doesn't say inch on it. And I thought, well, I'll just prop it up on something like during Halloween or just like during normal living. But I never have. So it's just been sitting in a drawer, not being used. So say the word silk and you'll get both of these. Thank you. And if you enter the giveaway, you might as well also go down and enter the Happy Mail. So if you do win, I've got your address already. I mean, come on. They're down there making a comment anyways. Just hit that little button. Okay. That's that week's giveaway. And then what is next? I did that. Boop, 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 boop. Haul. So, I don't have anything. But I was watching Pages and Stitches, which is Pages number 3 Stitches, floss tube, her Quilter's Corner. And she's very, 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 oh my God. Her eye for color is fantastic. If you don't quilt, you should watch anyways because her stuff is beautiful and she's fun to watch. If you do quilt, watch her because you will be so enabled. You want all the fabrics and all the patterns, which is what happened. She talked about Tilda's World patterns, and I went down a rabbit hole, and I think I downloaded 20 free patterns, quilts and pillows, mainly quilts. The quality and quantity of free quilts and free items, free patterns on Tilda's World, amazing. Go immediately and download some free stuff because it is awesome. I already have one. I need a autumn table runner, and one of her patterns is like, is it lanterns? I think if I do an autumny colors, that'd be a pretty table runner. So I'm thinking about it. Okay, so that's my haul. Free patterns. Go check them out. And now I'm going to, I decided the next 4 weeks I was gonna, it's been a long time since I really gave any shout outs of floss tube to watch, and I watch a lot of floss tube. And since I was traveling so much during the summer, I missed a lot of floss tubes, so I decided to catch up, weed through ones that hadn't posted in a long time, like 1-2 years. So that's what I did. I'm not gonna go through and list all the things I love about them because I have like 14 for each week to share. And then on my to watch list, I have like 10 other floss tubers that I'll have to give a try. So I'm almost caught up on all my current floss tubers. So I'm just gonna go down the list and give you names, and then I'll link them below. So I love all of these. I watch all of these. Amanda from Alba Stitcher. I feel stupid like not telling you why I like them, but they're all for similar reasons. They stitch, and I like what they stitch. they may not stitch what I stitch. I watch some people who do so many full coverages, and I am not a full coverage girl. Usually, like, I mean, like, hey, like years and years projects. I have one, and some of these people have 35. And even though they're making progress, it's really hard to tell the progress, but it's still so fascinating to watch and to see their excitement and to see it grow. And then I watch people who stitch things I'm never gonna stitch. I don't stitch a lot of samplers. I think they're gorgeous. I don't stitch them. I do not like stitching alphabets, but I really like watching other people do that. It's just, you know, there's, at the heart of it, they're stitchers. I like them. I like the personalities. They seem genuine and nice, or they're quirky, or they're funny, or they're, I don't want to say emo-y. Like I feel like a similar vibe, or sometimes a vibe, I think, yeah, I could totally hang out with that person. Sometimes I'm like, I don't think I can really hang out with that person because I don't know if we really have anything other than stitching to talk about, but I still would like to because I could talk stitching with this person because they're awesome and they seem so nice. I don't know. I'm not explaining myself very well. I'm going to go run down the list. All right. Amanda from Alba Stitcher. Alexis and Kia from Alexis My Amazing World. Brandy and Emma from B&E Stitchery. Becky at Becky Got Craft. Jessie at Bobo Jessie Stitches. Nancy and Jenny at The Bougie Stitchers. Natasha at Britches Get Stitches. I knew it was Natasha, but I don't know what I wrote there. Nicola at Bumble Stitches. Cam at Cam the Stitcher. You'll notice that a lot of these are in alphabetical order because I was writing them down as I was watching them, but then some jump around. Let's see, where did I leave off? Cam at Cam the Stitcher. Candace at Candace K. Carolyn at Carolyn Stitches. Caitlin at Cats and Horror and Stitching. Chris at Chris Cross Stitch. I almost deleted him a little bit ago because it's been a while, but I was like, you know what? He said he's gonna come back. I feel in my heart that man's gonna come back. So I didn't delete him, and he came back. So yay, Chris is back. And then Julie from Kansas City Girl in a Colorado World. I love Julie. And this is the big one. This is the bonus one. I was watching Julie at Kansas City Girl in Colorado World, and she was trying to figure out who came up with the whip parade first. And it made me think, man, I've been watching FlossTube for like 8 or 9 years. And there's a couple that I watched that I absolutely loved, and I couldn't remember their names. So I had like deep search some posts I made on Ravelry. And does anyone remember the lovely Array? I loved her. I hope she's doing okay. And I was like, man, you know who I missed? Carolyn Mazzio. Do you know who's back? Do you know who came back like 8 fucking months ago? Carolyn. She explains it in her video. She had some life stuff going on. She's since been divorced, and she no longer has that name. So she changed her FlossTube name to the FlossTube Stitcher. Guys, I'm so glad she's back. She's one of the first people I ever watched. She's one of the first times I ever heard of Mushroom Lagana. She is fantastic. I love her. I was so excited to see she's back. I've only watched a couple of her new episodes because, again, she's been back for 8 months. I guess this is why maybe you don't delete people, because 6 years down the line they may come back. But yeah, so check her out. She's one of the OGs. I'm so happy she's back. So that's my list for this week. I have a list for every week for the next 4 weeks, and then I may have, after the 4 weeks, I may tack on the new ones I've been watching once I get around to my watch list, because that just keeps growing, because like I said, I'm addicted to freaking cross stitch and FlossTube. Anyways, okay, so go watch those people, give them a try if you already. I know I have some big names on there that you've all heard of and are watching, you know, the Bougie Stitchers, Julie, everyone loves these people because they're fantastic. I don't think I have any actually small ones that, I don't know. Give them a try. I love them. That's why I keep watching them. So now, life. And then I'll do plans. So, you remember that quilt I made? Quilt top I made my friend with the embroidery? Well, apparently it turns out long armers won't long arm that because she doesn't want any stitching on her embroidery. She wants it in the ditch, but not in the ditch. It doesn't have to be perfect. She just wants it around the boxes. Apparently that kind of straight line stitching, long armers don't do it. And I can't have that thing languishing. She's been working on it for 4 years. She's been embroidering squares for 4 years. Her mom is in her 70s. That thing needs to be done. So I volunteered as tribute. Told her I'd sew it. This is me trying to melt away because I don't want it. It's so big. That's why I moved my sewing machine right here, because my other sewing machine table is so small. The thought of wrangling that big ass quilt over there was already making my back hurt. So I've moved my machine here. She bought the batting, backing. My floor is not big enough. She bought basting spray. We're gonna baste it and then pin it because I'm not risking that thing coming apart. But my floors in my house, there's no safe big enough. So I have to wait to do it at work. Her work, my old work, when our boss is not there. So basically you have to wait for her to be off and then go in there and use the floor in the back to put it together. So I moved my machine hoping to get that done this week, but things came up and I wasn't able to go to that place of my old place of employment. So hopefully next Friday, the whole week. But maybe I'll make that table runner while I'm waiting. Anyways, so that's going on. I'm gonna do that. That's gonna kill my back. It's so big. Oh, I'm already like feeling like I need to crack things. And then people who were here during my Flossmas, do you remember the sugar cookie countdown I did? Had sugar cookies, chocolate sugar cookies, gingerbread, snickerdoodle? I don't know. They were delicious and they were cute and they were like this big, so like perfect 2-bite cookie. It's Bake My Day Cookie Advent on Etsy. She's got orders up. She's got her cookie advents. There's 3 styles. They're all I don't know if the cookies looks change, but they're all like basically the same flavors. But they are up for sale, her cookie advent. So if you're interested in cookie advent, I highly recommend Bake My Day Etsy. They were delicious. Let me see if I stirred it enough. That's better. Okay. So, anything else in life? My kid's rocking college, loving it. Hating her psych class. Today's the last day you can drop a class, so she's gonna see if she can drop it. It's an honors class, and she has to take a certain number of honors classes a semester to stay in the honors program. I think she is over by 1, so I think she can drop it. She's looking into it. My son is rocking it at Grandma and Grandpa's, working on my husband's truck. He is tearing it apart and putting new pieces in. He has like sanded like so much freaking rust off that thing. You could probably build another car out of it. So he's doing good. That's it. My birthday's in 11 days. Not doing much for it. I do think that on my birthday I will stitch solely on Nefertiti, my Paid, since I think I started it for my birthday last year, and that poor beautiful woman just does not get the love she deserves. She is gorgeous. Trying to get my pictures. Nefertiti, did I delete you? No, I didn't. Okay, I knew I did delete Nefertiti. And this is, she's partly cut off. Like, okay, isn't she beautiful? Like, I'm currently working on. I started in the top center, so I'm working on this part. Oh, she's so gorgeous. I miss you, Nefertiti. So that's what I think I'll do for my birthday. Just work on her all day. And now plans. I have already taken up plans for next year, and they involve beautiful ladies. Well, I'll talk about that next week because I don't have them with me right here. But I'm also thinking about next month, and I decided that what I'm gonna do is I have a lot of Halloween-y, fall-y patterns. These are just the ones I have printed or kitted or magazines of. This does not include the ones, my PDFs that I've downloaded that I need to print out, or the Witches, Season of the Witch from Starlight Stitchery booklet that I have that I let my bonus child borrow. So, I'm thinking, starting on the 1st, so 5, just kind of like September, I will, so it's every Sunday, I believe, yeah, pick a new pattern to start. But I didn't know how to pick a pattern. So I decided I'd go off a theme. So I've got 5 themes. I've got witches, ghosts, pumpkins, Edgar Allan Poe, and general. And I'm gonna put a poll down in the box for the next 2 weeks, probably. And I'll let you guys vote on what theme you'd like to see worked on that month. So if witches wins, I will just start 5 witch patterns. If pumpkins win, I'll start 5 patterns that have pumpkins in them. Edgar Allan Poe, 5 Edgar Allan Poe patterns. General, that means I just put everything in a tiny decision wheel, spin it, and pick 5 patterns of all the things I have. Take a lot of listing. But, like, that's what, okay. Rein it in, Sarah. So if witches wins, then that last week I will put all my witch patterns into tiny decisions, and I'll pull 5. And then, December, and then on October 1st, I'll spin those 5 to see which ones I'm going to do. Because I want to be able to use the last week of this month to kit those 5. I don't want to spend any time like pulling a pattern and be like, well, shit, I don't have fabric for that. And then having to pull something, because I'm also trying not to buy anything. So if I pull something I actually don't have fabric for, which I find hard to believe, then I will re-roll, respin, that kind of thing. I just want to prepare. I'm a planner. I like to plan. I love to plan. I love to kit. I love to, anyway, organize it. But I like to organize. I'm not good at it, but I like to do it. So I'm going to have the pull up for a couple weeks, and whichever theme wins, then that following week, I'll put all my patterns in wheel, spin them, pick out my 5, and then each Sunday I'll spin and pick one of those. So basically whittle, 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 whittle. So go down. And I think I have it set so you can vote as many times as you want. I don't really care. The options for me to work on during the month of October is patterns with witches, patterns with ghosts, patterns with pumpkins, general, anything, any of them, or Edgar Allan Poe patterns. I went with those because when I was looking through my autumn Halloween-y patterns, those are what I had the most of by group. If that makes any sense. Like, I was gonna do skeletons, but I don't have, like, actually I do have a lot of skeletons, so I think about it. There's just a lot of them PDF. I'm sticking with my list. Witches, Edgar Allan Poe, ghosts, pumpkins, general. Vote, please. And that's my plans. And like I said, I'll talk next week about my plans for next year, but basically it'll start in December, but it'll be for next year, if that makes sense. It will when I explain it next week. I think that's it, my friends. Yeah, that's it. That's all I got for you. I am going to plop my butt in front of my computer, catch up on the floss tube stitcher, and stitch on my mermaid. So thanks for stopping by, and don't forget to enter the giveaway. Say silk, leave your address info in the Happy Mail form, and then vote for my October theme. Thank you guys. Bye.